Coming up next, how you can actually climb the corporate ladder if you're working from home. And we're going to discuss the thinking trap. We'll take your chats and we'll take your calls. And it all starts right now. I'm coming to you live from Ramsey Solutions Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. And you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how you can get there. This show is very simple. We are helping you discover what you do best so that you can do the work you love and produce the results that matter deeply to you. That is your purpose. You were created to work. You were created to contribute through your work. That means you are tremendously valuable, and that means that there's a duty for you to show up and be the best version of you. Simply put, because somebody needs you to show up and give yourself away. So we're going to look at those three gifts: talent, what you do best; passion, work you love to do; mission, results that matter deeply to you. And they align and point right to your sweet spot, where there are multiple jobs, multiple career paths that will allow you to be fulfilled and show up on Monday morning with the juice and work your tail off and still love it and be fulfilled. So if you don't know what you were created to do, you're in the right place. If you know what you're supposed to do, but you're afraid, you're dealing with doubt, it's keeping you from stepping out, this is the right place for you. If you know what you were created to do, but you're not quite sure how to get there, this is the place for you. 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. It's a toll-free number. Madison is standing by. We've got some phone lines open right now. You can call right now. You're one phone call away from clarity. Also, you could submit your question in the chat room as we are having this conversation, as you're listening into others. And we'll get to a few of those on my laptop here. You can also email the show, ask@kencoleman.com. Free resources, paid resources that are going to help you on this journey that we just discussed, all at kencoleman.com. And follow me on Instagram at Ken Coleman. But hey, let's first talk about this new normal that we've got, where more people than ever are working from home. Can you move up while working from home? I think the answer is yes. So I just want to go over a couple of things here. First thing is make sure that even though you're working from home, theoretically you are communicating with your leader. You should be communicating with your leader, but I would not lessen the communication. I would step it up. Say, hey, here's what I'm doing. If these processes aren't in place for a weekly report, send a weekly report. How am I doing? How do you feel about the results? How are we measuring these results? Stay engaged with the leader on your performance. Also, how can you add or sharpen your skills? Can I add some skills? Can I sharpen my existing skills? And then interact with your team. Not only are you interacting with your leader, as I described just a moment ago, you are interacting with your team, others on your team. Help them. Hey, you need any help? Can I add any assistance? I just want you to know, in order to keep from going crazy here at home, I want to help more. Whatever the excuse is, you want to interact. Check on others. You doing okay? Hey, I'm reading this book. I've tried this new exercise routine. Interact and add value. And then finally, make sure that you are setting some stretch goals. Just because you're at home, here's what happens. And I'm not saying everybody does this, but I'm saying this is normal for this to happen. Because when you're at home and you're not in the normal rhythm and you're not bumping into people all the time, the pace tends to just kind of drop. Your pace of activity, your pace of expectation of yourself, the pace, it's just slower. It's more chill. It is the nature of working from home. And so you need to make sure that you're setting your own stretch goals in multiple areas of your life. And if you're improving physically, I think you'll improve professionally. I just believe that as an example. So set your own stretch goals and get after them. 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. Let's go to the phones. Austin is in Phoenix, Arizona. Austin, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, good morning, Ken. How's it going?
I'm living the dream, Austin. How can I help?
Hey, I just have a question. I wrote the Dave Ramsey Show, and I just kind of wanted to ask you. You said that they couldn't really help me out very much, but I just kind of have a question. Why does my pay keep getting adjusted in sales, and what do I need to do to kind of get to that next level to where I need to be in life, where I'm actually able to afford things?
Well, I don't know why your pay keeps getting adjusted. I'm guessing it's getting adjusted negatively. Is that a fair assumption?
Oh, absolutely. No one ever complains about getting it adjusted the other way.
Right. I thought so. So what are they telling you? Your leaders have got to be expressing something to you.
No, absolutely. My last 4 leaders or managers that I've had have all sat me down within 3 to 6 months and said, it's just not fair that someone like you can come in, pick up a phone, and make as much money as you can. So we can't afford to pay you. It's not fair. So we need to de-incentivize you and get you on a different path than we're going to keep everybody else on.
Oh my gosh. I've not heard this before. I know that this exists, but I've never heard this from another person. What is your pay structure?
My pay structure at my last company that I worked for, it was essentially, making $2,500 a month. I grew sales from absolutely zero with just a phone call to $1.2 million. I ended up owning about 30% of the companies in sales.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm confused. I don't want to know about your past company. I want to know about this current company where they keep telling you you're doing too well, and so we can't afford to pay you based on the structure you started with because you're just too good. It's not fair. There's 2 messages in that. So I'm asking you, what were you getting? What was your structure? Was it a base plus commission?
Yes.
What was your base?
So my base is about $65,000.
And what was your commission structure?
The commission structure was as soon as you bring something in, we'll pay you based on what you bring in.
That's not a structure.
Right.
Well,
so just so you know, I went out and grew the sales, and I got them a bunch of new clients coming in, and they kind of refused to do the quotes, and they told me to basically fire the customers because we don't have time for them.
Hey, dude, you need to leave this company. I don't need to dig into this anymore. This is the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard of. First of all, there's no percentage. You mean to tell me, first of all, you need to learn from this and never take a job like this again where somebody won't tell you what your percentage is on commission. It can't be you go close a deal and then we figure out what to pay you.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, I'm so sorry. You got how old are you?
I'm 32.
You're a great salesperson. You can thrive, but you need to go to a place that has a healthy culture and healthy leadership. First of all, there's too much for me to dive into, and I don't even think it matters. That's why I'm not diving into it. But I've never in my life said, no, I've never heard of somebody go, no, we're turning away the business because we just simply can't take care of it. I mean, when that's happening, people try to scale up, not turn business away, unless there might be some extenuating circumstances. But as I said, I'm getting distracted by that. The fact of the matter is, you're crushing it in sales. There was no agreed upon specific commission structure. And now they're coming to you going, you're doing too well. We can't afford to pay you, which again, makes no sense. Because if you're bringing in revenue, they should be able to pay you. So you need to stay put until you find another gig and then leave. Because I don't want you to interrupt your income.
That makes sense to me. I just, I really believe in fighting for things and not giving up on things.
But you can't fight with these people.
Yeah.
They're not making any sense. I know I am, but I'm saying that if you this is not a fight I don't think you can win. Now, I guess you could take a shot at it and go, hey guys, but anybody that comes at you and says, you're too good, you're making too much money, it's not fair to everybody else. That's called socialism. I'm not interested. So you need to move on, Austin. I am about meritocracy. Look it up if you don't know what it means. I'm not about socialism. Oh, no, you're making too much. Boy, I tell you what, you want to fire me up? Katie, bar the door if somebody comes and ever tells me that at Ramsey Solutions. You know what I mean? We going to have a conversation. Dave Ramsey's going to be involved because I know what Dave thinks. Are you kidding me? If you've got an agreed upon comp plan, now if they want to adjust the comp plan because maybe they didn't know what the right percentage should be and it's a little out of whack, and you could sit down and have an adult conversation about that, well, that's different. But this idea of, you know what, Joe, I've got to learn. This does not need to turn into a rant. Here's the bottom line. Austin needs to leave. And if you're in a situation like that where someone's trying to cut your pay because you're performing too well and there's no legitimate market-based reasoning behind this compensation package, you need to tell them to pound sand. 844-747-2577. Let's go to Mesa, Arizona next. Cameron is on the line. Cameron, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hello, Ken. How are you?
Cameron, I'm living the dream. What's going on?
So I'm just looking into kind of switching my role. I currently work customer service for a very large job board. You probably have heard of them. But doing customer service, sometimes the calls are just a loaded question. Sometimes they're legal. Sometimes they're completely off topic. Sometimes just the wrong person calling into the wrong department.
Right.
So I don't really want to do that anymore. I want to switch to IT, but I've never worked an IT role before. How do I know me getting a certification in this is going to be what I actually want?
Well, this comes down to, do you want to do IT work? Do you know that you know that you know? And there's a process for confirming that. So let's start with talent. Do you feel like, what would you rate yourself on just basic skill sets that would lend themselves to sharpening and becoming an IT professional? How would you rate yourself?
I would say I'm probably a 3 right now, a 5. I wouldn't say the best. I don't know everything. I would just be stepping into the field, but
right, but you understand it. Right, you understand it. You're not completely clueless, right?
Exactly.
Okay, great. So now you're qualified to go into IT, because they can teach you the IT skills. Those are trainable. So the point is that you can do it. How much do you love IT work? Have you ever been around anybody that does that work? Talk to people that do it yet, where you sit down, this is the proximity principle, and you get around people that are doing it and essentially do a book report on them. How'd they get there? What do they love about it? What do they not like about it? What's a normal day look like? By getting all this information about IT work, your head is going to filter that information down to your heart, and it's either going to go ding, 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 or eh. And so that's really what you have to do. So what have you done in that area?
I've consulted a couple different people from my church about that, and one of them was encouraging me to get a certification.
I didn't ask you that. I'm saying, when you talked to them about their work, did your heart light up, or are you still a little unclear?
I got to be honest, to me, it's almost like another job. It's just the idea of getting more pay that's incentivizing me.
Okay, so you're not excited about IT work?
I'm going to be honest, I'm not excited about most jobs.
Okay, what are you excited about? What work would excite you?
I do like creative elements. I like creative writing. I like the idea of writing a book, but at the same time, it kind of does feel like it's homework every single day to sit down and crank something out in terms of writing. So it's a love and hate relationship. Yeah,
that, by the way, that's normal. Don't let that confuse you. So if we just, for dream's sake, 10 years down the road, let's fast forward, what would you be doing? If you knew you couldn't fail and I gave it to you, what would you be doing all day, every day? Would you be writing?
I think it'd be writing and speaking, doing something that's, working in God's kingdom, doing something to bless other people.
What would you be writing and speaking about? If you could pick anything and you knew the readers were going to be there, you knew the people were going to be in seats, what would you be writing and speaking about?
I'd probably pick on something about like personal development for cultivating faith.
Okay. So one path to this might be getting into IT and making better money and having all that IT experience. That certainly would help you. And that gives you a solid base and some stability that you can at least enjoy while you're pursuing the writing and speaking on the side, like I did. I was selling sponsorship to live events. So if you're looking at IT to just be a day job that funds the dream job, I'm all for it. But you better be pursuing the dream. And by the way, in an IT career, I mean, I want you to call Bethel Tech. I'm going to make sure Madison gives you the information when I put you on hold. But they're partnering with my show now. They've got a 9-month program. Costs you less than $16,000. And they'll train you, and then they will place you. They got 85% of placement rate. And they're actually strong values. Silicon Valley's all excited about them because they're teaching soft skills as well. As along with the IT training, you can do it from home. And strong Christian company as well. And you need to call them and just say, hey, I called the Ken Coleman Show. I'm looking at switching the IT career. Because I mean, they're training coders, they're training all different types of technology jobs. And as I said, they not only train you, they place you. So you need to call them, at least have a conversation. You get a discount if you call them from me, if you decide to sign up. But that's why I partnered with them, for people like you who want to move from one field to technology field. Because a lot of people think, oh, it's going to cost $180,000. Yeah, that's what a computer science degree could cost you. And 4 years. But 9 months from now, $16,000, it's actually less than 16 with the Ken Coleman Show discount, you can be ready to go. So I think you should start there. But listen, I'm only recommending you go into IT as your day job that will fund your dream, so that you're writing and speaking on the side and you build that up and eventually you walk away. How does that sound?
Mm-hmm. That sounds amazing.
All right. Hang on the line. And listen, I'm not telling you to sign up. I'm telling you to talk to them. You need to call him. Madison, let's make sure he has betheltech.net. By the way, for those of you watching, that's the website. betheltech.net/Ken Coleman is the actual site. betheltech, TECH.net/Ken Coleman. Just talk to him. Amazing. The CEO's been on the program, coming back in. These are the type of partnerships that I want. That it's not a product that I'm endorsing. We're talking about a world-class training program from home, very affordable, high placement rate, and they get you going. They're great. Call them, talk to them, ask them all the questions. Tell them Ken Coleman sent you. betheltech.net/Ken Coleman. All right, let's go to our chat room. CJ writes in, how do I begin getting information about a job field that I'm not very familiar with? Oh, I love this. This is starts with identifying people that you know personally, or identifying people that you know personally who know somebody who are working in this field. And this is a phone call, a Zoom, a FaceTime, a coffee, a lunch, a social distance conversation on the park bench, wearing your mask, whatever works for you. Start now. Connections, real people who are succeeding in the field you are interested in but don't know much about. And it's the idea of, we all did a college term paper or term paper in high school. Do those types of questions so that you could write a term paper, and your head will process the information. It filters to your heart, and your heart will inevitably say ding, 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 or ding, ding, ding. For those of you who are keeping score, is a yes, is a no. By the way, I need those sound effects, Joe, so that I don't have to do my own sound effects. We need to work on those. I need my own little, you know what I need? I need a little button on the desk that does the ding, ding, or the and
it's in the works.
Can we get that for me, please?
Yes.
Because that's the head and the heart coming together, and I need some props. Thank you, Joe. You're always a couple steps ahead of me. And inevitably, the audience will either love that or hate that, but we'll try not to use it too much. So fun stuff. All right. Jesse writes in, I recently received an email from a possible employer in my career field stating he's interested in adding me to his team, but he doesn't have a vacancy at the time. Let's see here. I got to scroll over. Oh boy, I lost that one. Oh, team. I need to be told how to do this. Oh, okay. Here we go. How do I respond to the email? That was the line I couldn't get. The way you would respond is honestly, are you interested in it? He's interested in adding you to the team, but he doesn't have a vacancy. Are you interested in having a conversation? You don't even have to say that you're interested in joining the team, but are you interested in a conversation? If you're interested in a conversation, say, hey, thank you. First of all, humbled that you've thought of me. Grateful that you reached out. I'm interested in having a conversation. Let me know when you'd like to have a conversation. Appreciate it. Bye. That's it. That's all you got to do. Don't overthink that. 844-747-2577. Okay. Big announcement. Very excited as we continue to ideate and expand the influence of the Ken Coleman Show, and it's growing like crazy on YouTube. So I want to say thank you all for watching. If you haven't subscribed, just go down there, one click, subscribe, gives you a notification when we're live. We put out clips every day. Hit the like button if you enjoy the show and share. So we're growing, and one of the things that I'm excited about is having these deep dive conversations where we'll do a whole show and I'll have a guest, and that guest is focused on a particular area that enhances the show. And I'm not the expert in this one area that they are, but it's vital to your journey. And so obviously every day we take calls and you hear people say, I'm here, I want to go there, but money is an issue. And getting out of debt, being financially stable helps the dream happen. Obviously, it can speed it up. It can certainly delay it. So I'm excited to have my colleague, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author Rachel Cruz is joining me for the entire program this Thursday. And Rachel and I, great friends. She's like my little sister that I never had. I very much look at her as like my little sister, but with mad respect because she's amazing. And she's got a new book out called Know Yourself. No, it's not out yet. Sorry, pre-sale. Know Yourself, Know Your Money. And we're going to talk about the different styles that we all have, where you might fall into the bucket. Then we're going to take your money calls. Okay. And we will take them together. She and I have a blast together. I promise you this is going to be great television, a lot of fun. So she'll be joining me in studio. If you've got a financial question, would like to call in, email us right now over the next day or two, ask@kencoleman.com, ask@kencoleman.com. Put your question in for Rachel. We're going to be talking about obviously getting out of debt, saving, spending habits, mindset around spending, all of that stuff. Her new book is going to be just absolutely fantastic, and it'll help you. So we'll take your career and money questions together. We're going to focus on the money side of it, and then I'll weigh in as well. Again, that's going to be this Thursday, 12 Eastern, 11 Central Time, lunchtime. Lunch with Ken and Rachel. Going to be big, big fun. So join us and spread the word. That's going to be very exciting. Okay, just a quick little moment, and we'll get back to the phones. I want to teach on the thinking trap. All right, so there's a setup, and Joe, you know how I am. Madison, they roll their eyes when I come up with these things, so I don't tell them about it until I'm live. But I think we're all this way. In fact, I think everybody in some way is like this, in that if you're in an area, you focus on a specific task every day or a subject matter. When you get outside of the office, it follows you. And so, Madison, I'm just curious. You have your own podcast, Bragging Rights. When you're here at the office and you check the sports updates, do you get thoughts? Oh, I want to add that to my podcast. I mean, you get ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I see tweets,
Yeah.
anything like that. People text me, come by my desk.
Right. So this cracks my wife up because I'm like over the top this way. So I got to tell you, and Joe, you're going to laugh at me, but I am the most non-outdoorsy guy there is, other than sports. Like, I love playing sports. I love being outdoor playing sports and all that, but I'm not a hunter. I'm not a hiker. I'm just not that guy. And you're laughing. Like, they're laughing at me. I get it.
Not
Okay?
Grizzly Adams.
I'm
okay.
not Grizzly Adams. But for some unidentifiable reason, I love like Bear Grylls show. I love survival shows. I love outdoor hunting shows. I do. I don't know why. And just telling you folks, I watch these shows rarely, but at least one night a week when I just need a mental escape. Kids are asleep. I've done my dad duties. And before I go to bed, I need to get lost in something. So, Joe, I'm watching this new show on Amazon Prime called Mountain Men. And it focuses on 3 different guys. Okay? One guy's in Alaska. I'm talking like tundra Alaska, like way up. One guy's in the North Carolina hills. But you'd never know that it was the North Carolina hills unless you're from that area. I mean, it's remote. And then one guy's in Montana. All right, so 3 different dudes, and they're married. I think all 3, 2 of them are. Anyway, they live out there off the land. That's what they do. Like they make everything themselves. They shoot it, cook it, the whole 9 yards. All right, there's the setup for the teaching. So I'm watching this last night, and the guy in Alaska, he's got a snowmobile that keeps breaking down on this poor guy, and he's got to fix it. It's 20 below, 30 below, 40 below, and he's got to collect all of his traps before it gets crazy dark. And so he's riding around, and if he doesn't get anything in these traps, he doesn't eat. So they've built this drama up, right? And I'm watching this. This guy, he's zipping around, nothing in this trap, nothing in this trap. I'm like, dadgum, this guy's got like 2 traps left. He comes up on the one trap, and there it is. Big, giant Arctic rabbit. I think it's an Arctic fur is what they call it, whatever. And this rabbit is in the trap. He's all excited. And so I'm not Mr. knowledgeable around traps and things. But anyway, so he comes over and he looks at it, and this animal is in this trap. And I mean, this thing is frozen solid. I mean, it's a block of ice, this rabbit. Okay. And it's smack in the middle of the trap. Well, I watch him, they zoom in on the camera, and he presses something, and then that trap opens up and he pulls the animal out, and then he resets it, and he shows us how he resets it. And I'm sitting there watching that, and I'm going, this is us. This is humans when we start thinking too much. It's a thinking trap. I get callers every day on the show that are like this poor rabbit, frozen solid on their career path. Now, let me explain how this happens. When we have a pretty good idea what direction we should take, we don't know everything, but we have a pretty good idea. The heart's telling us something, and we begin to get some confirmation, and then we see, okay, I've got to do this, or I've got to learn a little bit more here. And there's all different levels of confirmation, but there's enough confirmation where what happens is we stop looking into it because fear and doubt rise up, Joe. All right, and here's what happens. Then we start going, all right, I've gone this far. Now I've got some unknowns. And it looks a little scary, or I start to doubt myself. And then watch what happens, folks. We start thinking, and we go, well, what about this? And we think, and we go, well, this could go wrong, and this could go wrong, and I don't know about this, and what if I leave this? And we've had callers. You guys have listened to this before, and they start telling me all the reasons why they can't move forward. And here's what happens. You start coming up with all the things that could go wrong, or you start identifying all the things you don't know. And it's like that rabbit got closer and closer to that trap, nosing around, what's in the trap. And he gets a little closer, and that's us thinking a little bit more and going deeper down the hole. This could go wrong. I don't know about this. What will these people say? And we're thinking, and then boom, the trap closes on us. And we find enough evidence, or we're overwhelmed and the evidence collapses on us, and we just go, and we can't move. And we're trapped. And your dream gets frozen like that poor fur. Now, you got to understand that a certain amount of thinking and processing is good. It's common sense. And that's why God gave us the brain, to be able to logically work through the scenarios. But here's the thing. When you decide to keep trying to find more evidence to support your fear or to support your doubt, you will find it. We know from neuroscience that what we think about is what we act upon. So when you start thinking about all the things you're afraid of and all the things that you doubt, you will find more evidence, and you get closer and closer to that trap. You get in there, and then you're stuck. And so we've got to be careful about the thinking trap and start doing. Here's the word. Nathan, I didn't give you this for the lower third, and you don't have to put it in, but here's the takeaway. Some of us, many of us, are in a situation where we're doing all this deliberating, fancy word for thinking, because I got to have some alliteration, Joe. Stop deliberating and start doing. That's the message. Stop deliberating and start doing. How about this? Why don't you start doing and then deliberate as you do? There it is. Nathan's the best in the business. Stop deliberating and start doing. This is a thought for some of you. Write it down. Tweet it. Put it on Instagram. You better give me credit. Why don't you just start doing and deliberate as you do? And I think you're going to see more progress, but more importantly, you won't be in danger of the thinking trap. And how many times have we had callers call in and they're just stuck? Too much thinking. And again, logic, common sense, processing is smart. But when you start to let fear and doubt, and let's throw the other enemy in there, pride, what other people think, what other people say, when we start putting in those voices into our head and we let those voices stay in our head, that's when the trap closes. So there you go. Joe, Lessons from Mountain Men. Which, by the way, you should watch that show. Do you like shows like that, Joe?
Sure.
That didn't seem very compelling.
No, I do.
It's
just trying to find the time.
Oh, yeah, because you're so busy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got 3 kids and 2 dogs and 2 of them playing sports at school, and you can't find time?
Nope. I'm
Empty
busy.
nester?
Nope.
If it's not on Fox News, he doesn't watch it.
Oh, there it is.
Come on.
There it is.
That's not fair.
Madison with the shot. You two behave back there. Anyway, I'm telling you, I think you'd like the show. Nathan, do you like the outdoorsy shows? Yeah, okay. Maybe I'm the only one. I got to tell you, it's a fascinating show. These dudes, and I have mad respect for all of you outdoorsmen who can live out there off the land like that, because I struggle with anything less than 720 thread count sheets. You know, I mean, that's just where I'm at. The ladies watching the show appreciate that.
I would have actually liked the part where he fixed the snowmobile, because
and his hands are numb, like he can't. I mean, this guy's got to fix it, or he's walking 10 miles.
Yes.
In snowshoes. Yeah, it's tough living. Nobody should live up there, by the way. I think God just did not intend humans to live in 40, 50, 60 below zero. It's just insanity. But spare me the hate mail from Alaska. I won't read it. 844-747-2577. Let's go back to the phones. Walter is waiting in Kansas City, Missouri. Walter, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. How's it going?
Walter, I'm living the dream. What's up?
So I've been in the maintenance field for about 4 years and recently got a step-up job with all the COVID stuff where I'm responsible for pretty much a whole building with a well-known grocery store.
Okay.
Am I thinking too fast to think if I can move up sooner than 3 to 4 years to, like, with this job where I don't have a team under me, I don't have an insane amount of responsibility?
Where do you want to move? Well, where do you want to move to?
Well, I wanted to, like, a bigger position where maybe I have a team under me, a bigger building.
I think that's very
right
realistic.
I'm just kind of stuck where I am. And
how long have you been in this move, though? This move you just got, or well, I shouldn't say just got. How long ago did you get it? How long have you been in it?
It's only been 6 months.
Oh.
So I'm trying to think way ahead.
Well, first of all, that's great. That's great. Good for you. But to answer your question, is it realistic to believe that you could be leading a maintenance team with greater responsibility?
I think so.
Of course it's realistic. So how would you go about doing that? How do you get there? And I'm going to tell you. So what you've got to be looking at now, even though you've only been on 6 months, you're looking for opportunities to move into a bigger building, a bigger team, because here's what will happen. You need to follow well before you can lead well. So right now you're a one-man gang, correct?
Correct.
So the next idea would be moving into a similar position, except that you're a part of a bigger team. And so you have a leader above you, maybe even a couple of leaders above you. But even if it's just one above you, but it's the same kind of pay, maybe even a little bit more, same kind of work. But now you're working within a team, and you begin to prove to yourself first and to your coworkers and your leader that you're a servant, that you get along great with people. And the idea is that you hope there's an opportunity to move into a leadership role. That's one path, so that you get more experience at a bigger company and maybe have the opportunity to move up there. If not, at least you're part of a team. And so now you can find the next opportunity based on, hey, he worked on this team. My current leader's not moving on, not leaving, so I don't have a hole to fill. But it's the springboard to the next opportunity, which hopefully is actually leading a team. Make sense so far?
Yeah, and I don't want to throw a wrench in the line of thought either, but the position that I moved up from was actually within a maintenance team, and this is the move that I thought would be the next step up, where instead of being on a team with a direct supervisor in the building, I'm on my own.
Right, but the point is you want to lead a team.
Yeah.
So I'm saying you got to move into a bigger. So I'm giving you one option. Everything I said is still true. I'm just giving you options. The other option is you leave from this role into actually, because you've been on a team before, but what's weird is you got moved up, but you're not leading anybody. You're on your own. So, if you want to convince somebody else that you can lead a team, the good news is you do have that experience being on a team, which I did not know, but so that's helpful information. But the point is that it doesn't change my advice. You either move up into a larger organization that would have a step on the ladder within that company for you to step into as a leader. Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
That was the first scenario I gave you. The second scenario is you start looking for leadership positions right now. Start looking for maintenance positions where they're looking for a manager who knows how to do the work, but also lead a team. And I would tell you you're qualified for that, in my opinion, because you can say, I've been on a team and this is my background and I know how to lead people. I want to lead people. I'm a servant. These are the books I read, the podcasts I listen to. I go to leadership conferences. All that's viable information on a resume and in your conversation. And if you know how to follow somebody, which you do, then you know how to lead. Because leadership is not as tricky as everybody makes it out to be. It's not as complex as everybody makes it out to be. It's pretty simple. It's difficult. Leadership's difficult because it's about serving people. And people are the greatest part of leadership, and people are the suckiest part of leadership. But if you can serve somebody and lead them the way that you wish you would have been led, or lead them in a way that you were led that was a positive thing, you are off and running and you're a good leader. So I'd start looking now for either one of those two possibilities.
Yeah,
Sound
sounds
good?
great.
Yeah, you got this, man. But the answer to your question, I don't think you need to wait 3 or 4 years. I think you could start looking now. But I absolutely believe you can get there. And let me say one other thing. I believe you will get there, Walter. I believe you will get there. And I want you to consume every leadership book you can get your hands on. Start listening to some great leadership podcasts like Entree Leadership. Hang on the line. I'm actually going to give you a copy of Dave Ramsey's #1 best-selling book entitled Entree Leadership. Start listening to the program. The Entree Leadership Podcast is going to help you. So good stuff. All right. It's almost time for me to go, but I want you to remember that you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.